Welcome back to the OnlyAccies channel. Today, Brandon and I are going to preview tomorrow's game against Killie. Now, before we go into that, I didn't get a chance to speak to you after the game, Brandon. But very quickly, what are your thoughts on that comeback win at Livy?
I was too pissed to talk to you. But no, brilliant. Didn't expect it. Our stream was still buffering when we found out it was 1-0.
Nightmare.
We were having very bad technical difficulties when that was happening. So as soon as we checked Twitter, we see it's 1-0 down after, 30 odd seconds.
Yeah.
You're fearing the worst.
Mm-hmm.
But nah, fair play. First half, we weren't there. But Rice's came, I don't know what Rice said to him at half time, but he came in and said something, and we were the better team second half. I think overall, possible fair result might have been a draw.
Mm-hmm.
But if MD deserved to win it, I'd have said it was us. No, I'm buzzing the fact we two away wins in a row. Very unexpected. Did not expect it at all. Two set piece goals.
Yep.
We're not looking that threatening in open play, which is still a bit of a worry. But I don't think you can be negative with a victory. So no, brilliant.
And I'm sure you'll hold your hands up as I did after the game. We said Kyle Monroe wasn't ready. I still don't think he is. I said that in the video. I still don't think he's quite there yet. But perfect way to end the game, really.
Brilliant. A late winner, an 18-year-old on his full first team debut. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's just what Accies are all about. So it's brilliant. Don't get me wrong, like he says, I don't think he's fully ready.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could tell he was an inexperienced young boy in the actual match.
Yep.
With some of the stuff that went on. No, hats off to him. We've started him. He's scored, and don't get me wrong, what a fucking header. It was a bullet header, man.
Absolutely. And obviously going on to that Killie game we've got tomorrow. Now, usually when we do these previews, we do team lineups. That's even harder this week, given selection bingo, blah, blah, blah. But we've also got players who we don't even know if they're out or not. If MD has missed the news, living under a rock, whatever, Hamilton obviously had COVID tests come back and they were inconclusive, which means they have to isolate. They've then done NHS testing. 3 players do have to self-isolate for 10 days despite getting negative tests. It's caused a little bit of confusion online, people not really knowing what the rules are and what means what, and they spoke about it on Super Scoreboard throughout the week as well. Nobody really knows kind of where we are. Brian Rice said midweek that it's just something we have to deal with, and other clubs are going to get this later on in the season. It's just a shame that it's happened to us. What are your opinions on those players having to self-isolate despite getting negative tests?
I think we could do a full 24-hour podcast on our feelings towards the whole situation with what's going on, and I don't think MD has a clue, if we're being perfectly honest, man. They've came back negative. They've not got COVID. So they need to self-isolate, but there's so many different things you can say. For instance, I can go swimming, but I can't go and see my nana in her house. But my nana can come swimming with me, and it's just one of the ones. It's not really with regards to the football. It's just, I saw Brian Rice's interview recently, the day actually, and we said that Doncaster's worried that the season's not going to be able to finish.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it's going, if this is going to be a regular thing, then I don't think it's really fair, because it's not going to be necessarily the team that deserves to win the league or the team that deserves to win the match or the team that deserves to get relegated. It's just really your luck.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, I don't know, if Rangers could go and get 7 inconclusive tests during the week, even though they come back again and they're negative, but then they still need to go play their game. So it's just going to be a regular occurring thing. So I don't know. It's a whole different podcast on its own, that topic.
I suppose the main thing is everybody's healthy. Everyone's all good. That's the main thing. At the end of the day, I'm glad to hear everyone's okay.
And a bit off topic. Don't know if you saw the Motherwell directors with the.
Oh, that's ridiculous! But in it, like, that's
not to throw MD under the bus, but if Aberdeen players are getting penalised, then.
No, listen, I absolutely agree with you, because, like, I understand that it's a kind of weird situation for everybody, and again, nobody's 100% sure of the rules, but like taking a big group photo of all your chairmen and then tweeting it out,
A bit
or
silly,
being
that,
found
isn't
out,
it?
obviously now deleting the tweet, but everyone's seen it already. It's something that I feel like, again, this, don't want to turn this into a Motherwell podcast, but it's something I feel that Alan Burrows should at least
Come
come out
out
and
and
say,
say
no,
something.
I messed
Because
up. I apologise.
it's a whole different subject, so I think we should get off it. But it's just there's going to be so many scenarios like this that are going to happen throughout the full season. It's just the whole world's nuts now. But let's just
Let's focus.
focus
So
happy.
going into that team again, we don't know 100% who's in and who's out. You've said before we started that there are a few players we know are okay. So people like David Templeton, Hakeem Adoffin, Ryan Fulton, Scott Martin, etc. Is there any kind of big changes you would make to that Levy team? And again, I know you don't know who's in and who's out, but just from what you know, is there any big changes in formation and shape and tactic that you would change going into Kelly?
I really want us to give Tunde a start.
Absolutely.
I really like. I don't know. There's obviously something that I don't know if he's just really unfit or doesn't he look really unfit.
Yeah.
He's just not got to grasp with this sort of standard of the game, or like the difference in the type of game it's up here. But there's something just clearly must be wrong for him not to be even getting a sub appearance because we're not creating anything really in open play. Our strikers are doing nothing. Our forwards are doing nothing. They've no score. I think we need to bring McMahon back in.
That's what I was just going to say. Would you keep Kyle Monroe in the team, or would you bring Scott McMahon back?
I'd bring McMahon back in.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a tough one because the wee man scored, but I don't think you should just rush him into it. If you know what I mean, you need to sort of bed the youngsters into it. And Accies are probably the best type of people to understand that. Accies have got history doing that with the young players, so they'll know 100% more than us what the best type of way it is to develop those young players. And if they think playing Kyle Monroe game after game is the correct way, I'm not going to judge them for that. But I just think, you know yourself, I'm a big fan of Scott McMahon. I know a lot of people aren't. I just think he's been a captain at the start of the season as well. Is there room for Scott McMahon to play and Kyle Monroe to play? That's a question.
I suppose the only way I could see that happen is going to that three at the back, having Scott McMahon as your left-sided, and then Kyle Monroe as your wing-back.
And then it sort of defeats the purpose of Scott McMahon.
Exactly,
driving down with a step over.
The famous step over.
So it's a tough one. It's not the best circumstances for the wee guy, but Accies will know what's best to do. But I'd be very surprised if we don't see Scott McMahon starting.
Would you keep Scott Martin at right back, or would you bring in like a Fjortoft or a Hamilton into that centre back? For me, I know it's strange. I can't take a Dolphin out of that position. He's been doing so well in that position. I know he's out of position, but he's not put any foot wrong. And the only way I can see him coming out of that position is if, say, like Lee Hodgson is out for longer than we expect, and he thinks I do really need to bring in a centre back into this position. But for me, he stays there, and I don't know what would do it right back. But
it's hard. It's a hard one personally. Scott Martin's had a fucking howler this season. Whatever position we put him in, not really fair on putting him right back, but I can see why Rice has done it. Personally, even though Dolphin has been solid and he has been a great addition, I'd put him on the right and bring Hamilton in.
I suppose the biggest question with midfield, I guess, is do you keep that partnership of Martin and Callahan, or do you mix it up a little bit? Do you drop Martin, maybe bring Trafford in? Do you drop Callahan and keep Mimno and have a 2? I suppose that is the biggest question. What partnership do you use in the middle?
As much as I love him, I think Scott Martin deserves to be dropped because I don't think he's been good enough. I don't really see Callahan done anything special, but he's not done anything bad. So I think it'd be harsh on him to drop him. So I think the best situation there, and hopefully it would maybe give Martin a kick up the arse, would be to drop him. But saying that, if you start Martin, maybe I'd put AJ up there. So
The return. The return. If he starts,
If
not
he
been starting
starts,
any games.
I've had him in my fantasy team the beginning of this season. I think he's got me 1 point the full fucking
Step
season.
up, Aaron. We know you watch. We know you watch this channel. Step up. And finally, just to end it, your score predictions. We do obviously sit in ninth. We're 1 point ahead of Kilmarnock. And we do also have a game in hand as well. So how do you see this one going?
3-2 Kelly.
3-2 Kelly. So a high scoring game, 5 goals. I agree in terms of I do think Kilmarnock will score. I just think defensively we're no great. And obviously Kambamba started the season great. Obviously they've got Eamon Brophy as well. And Chris Burke seems to have a new light this year. I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to say 2-1 again.
I hope, obviously, I really
Obviously you want us to win, but
I just think the way in which Kilmarnock play,
yeah,
and how much, because of their defence and how much time teams are getting to come
Mm-hmm.
at us. I just see a lot. I can see them scoring a lot of goals. I was actually being really optimistic when I said 2 goals there for us, because we've only scored for set pieces. So, but no, I don't think Kilmarnock have been spectacular this season either.
Nope.
They've been quite leaky as well.
I was just literally looking at the results. Sorry, this season they've only got 1 win, and that was when they battered Dundee United 4-0.
And see that game where they battled Dundee United. Dundee United had more shots and more possession.
I was just about to say that. It was a very kind of weird game that where Kilmarnock were just lethal, and when they got their chance, they took their chances when they got them. So I do agree it will be a tough game. It always is going to Kelly. Let's hopefully we can pick up those 3 points. Brandon, thanks a lot for joining us, man. Hopefully I'll get a chance to see you after the game. If not, I hope you enjoy it. And
you should be able to. I'm watching it with my girlfriend's dad, so I don't think it'll be that bad. So.
That's not bad, man. Thanks a lot. Cheers, bro.